Hello everybody, welcome to CJ's Drop on Life today. And this video goes out to the seniors who are retired, part-time retired, age 62, 65, 67, 70, whatever you are. This video goes out to you today. I am a retired person. I retired at 62. Just because I don't know if Social Security is ever is going to continue. So I opted out early, and of course at 62 you don't make what you do at 65. You don't make what you do at 67. So in order to make it, you got to work a part-time job. And even if you are 65 or 67, it's still not enough money. In today's society, everything's jacked up in price. Your gas. I mean, if you got your house paid off, that's great. You don't have a housing payment. But you still got to buy groceries. You still got to pay insurance, which keeps on going up, and you still got to pay taxes. Watched a very interesting video on people that are retired and still have to work. And one of the problems is we just don't make enough money, especially if you're alone. Or if you have a wife that's retired or a husband that's retired, you do have two retirements coming in. If something happens to one of you, I'm not positive on this, I think you can take whichever one is more, you can take. So like say for instance, my wife passed away and her Social Security was more than mine. I could take that. I think you get paid at 65 or 67. I'm not sure. I think at 65, what they would make at 65. So, vice versa. But I was watching an interesting video about a guy that, if I find the video, I'll put it in my video here. I'll go home and check it out, maybe put the link in. But the guy is retired. He was into sales, and he did very, very good at sales. And I think he, if I remember correctly, I think he lost his job, and so he did retire. I think he retired at the age of 65. I think he's 67 now, but he was doing some gigs and stuff, just to get by. He was doing, Uber and things like that. And so, anyways, not to be too boring here, but he was talking to his neighbor, and his neighbor was a senior and was working at Home Depot. Which I guess Home Depot, their range are you're either young and working at Home Depot, or you're older and retired and working at Home Depot. So he went into Home Depot and filled an application out, and his neighbor told him, they said, go in there and apply, they'll hire you on the spot. So he went in there, and Home Depot, he got to put his application, and Home Depot called him the next day, set him up for an interview, set him up for a second interview, which he was hired at. Went in there, and he thought being 67, he thought, well, I can get back into shape, and what do you want to do? They asked him, what department would you like to work in? You have your choice of whatever department you want to work in. And he said, well, I want to kind of get back into shape again, so maybe I'll work in the lumber department. Well, a lady there that was interviewing him said, hey, you're an older guy. I really appreciate your enthusiasm and stuff, but that might be a little bit much. We do pick up bags of concrete and building supplies and lumber, and this stuff can be heavy and very strenuous on an older person. They said, I think you'd be better fit at the front, at the counter, and that would be a great job for you, and he's been there for, I think he's been there for a couple years now, and he's really happy with it. But a lot of companies now are, if you have to work, are hiring senior citizens just because they know they're going to show up for work. With me being 62, I can only work part-time. I can only make up to a certain amount of money. So I got to watch my hours. I work in a restaurant. I do prep for them. Not ashamed to say that. It's an all right job, They watch my hours, make sure I don't make too much, and I draw my Social Security. And it's good with me. My wife works. She's not retired yet. And, you know, I do a little other things too. And I do all right, you know. But if you have to get out there and work, I know some people like, I ain't going to go to work in a restaurant. I'm not going to work retail. What if someone sees me out there? I'm retired. I used to make 100 plus a year, you know, and I didn't save up right. You didn't do everything right in life, or you had some bad things happen to where you had to dip into your 401k, and, you know, you do have a savings, but you don't want to deplete your savings. You know, this is a way to get by that. So if you're 65, I think you can, you know, make whatever. I probably should have held out till I was 65, but yeah, I didn't. And, oh well. But, you know, you do have choices out there. Don't feel like, ashamed of going back to work and working part-time if you have to. You got to do what you got to do. And in today's economy, it's not your fault. Things just get out of hand, and this economy is terrible. And if you have to go back to work, I hear Home Depot is great to work for. They work with your hours. Probably Lowe's would probably do the same thing. And there are jobs out there for us people that are retired to make extra money in. So don't feel ashamed about it. I mean, I did for a while. I got in there and I was, you know, making a lot less than what I used to make. So yeah, of course, at first you're thinking, man, I'm back to where I started at. You know, I started in a restaurant when I was 15 years old. You know, I'm doing prep now and stuff, and doing different things around them. I do everything in the restaurant pretty much, and they pay me a decent salary, not salary, but decent wage, you know, to get by with. And I kind of can pick and choose my hours, so it's great. You know, I can take, like, if I'm going on Chicago here next week, or next week, Friday. So I tell them I need 7 days off. They're cool with it, you know. That's good. Not a big deal. I won't do that all the time, but you know, it's flexible. It's a flexible schedule, and I can kind of make what I want to make, you know. So, anyways, I'm just trying to say, don't be ashamed. You know, be good about it, and you know, it's good for you to go out there and work in your job, you know. So no big deal. So, anyways, that's my take on it today, and well, thank you for watching CJ's Drop on Life. And please subscribe, like, and comment. And I would appreciate that very much, because I need to get my subscriber count up, my views up. Share this if you can. And thank you for watching. And peace, and I'm out of here, okay? Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.